Listing agents, how do you prevent a buyer from requesting repairs on one of the houses that you're in contract on? I'm Joe Guarnacini from atCause Title Agency, and in this video, I'm going to provide a tip on what you can do to stop a buyer from coming back and asking for repairs, credits, and just generally negotiating. So the tip is very, very simple. What you're going to do is get a home inspection, pest inspection report done prior to the home being put on the market. In addition to that, any items that are defective on the home inspection and pest inspection report, you're going to have those investigated further by a professional in that field. For example, if the electrical panel looks to be old and is flagged by the home inspector, you're going to have an electrician come out, do an inspection on it, and provide a bid for what it takes to either repair or replace that item. Same thing with anything else major. Say the plumbing is leaking or it looks to be old. You're going to have a plumber come out and do an inspection and provide a bid on what it's going to take to repair or replace it. What you're then going to do is upload all of these documents, the inspection reports and all of the bids. You're going to upload it to the MLS when you put the listing on the market, and you're going to say in the private notes that all offers are to include buyer acknowledgement of these reports and bids. So what this does is it makes the buyer go into the transaction knowing what needs to be fixed on the home. And it basically puts it on them to take care of these repairs. So let's say they want to get their own inspection reports. And this is kind of an objection I've heard from other listing agents on why they don't want to provide reports up front, is because the buyer is going to want to get their own inspection reports. That's fine. They can get their own if they want. But you're going to have an inspector who is very, very thorough. That's an absolute must. These reports have to be super thorough, because any inspection that the buyers have themselves aren't going to reveal anything new. So when the buyer puts through their offer, it is with all of this in mind. So hypothetically, let's say the listing is listed at $300,000 and the total of the repairs is going to be $20,000. A buyer comes along and he puts in a full price offer at $300,000. What he's really doing, he's putting an offer in at $320,000 because he is well aware of these repairs. Now, let's say you don't do this. Buyer puts in an offer at $300,000, then he goes and he gets his own inspection reports, discovers it's going to be $20,000 worth of repairs. He's then going to come back to the seller and say, hey, I either want you to repair these things or give me a credit or reduce the price. Now, what happened? You then went from a $300,000 offer down to a $280,000 offer. Whereas had you provide these reports up front and the buyer knew about them, that $300,000 initial offer is actually worth about $320,000. You see how that kind of works? So by providing these reports up front, the buyer understands what they're getting into. So the negotiations stop. There's nothing for them to negotiate. They know everything up front. What are they going to do? Okay? So it's very comforting. It makes for a smooth transaction for your seller. It makes for a smooth transaction for the buyer. And the way it makes it a smooth transaction for the buyer is buyers are kind of leery. A lot of times they feel like sellers are hiding things or not divulging things, and they get a little bit suspicious. But by providing everything up front, you suppress that suspiciousness on these buyers. They go into it and they now have the viewpoint that, hey, this seller is giving everything up front. They're not hiding anything, right? So it makes it very comforting for the buyer, and that makes it easy on the buyer's agent, makes it easy for the sellers, it makes it easier for you. It makes it so that the transaction is smooth and closes with no problem. And when I say it closes with no problem, let's say, for example, let's say that the whole roof needs to be replaced, and it's something that your seller is not willing to do. Depending on the price range, if it's a lower priced home, let's say it's $150,000, $200,000 home, a new roof for 20, 30 grand, that can totally kill a deal, right? If a buyer gets in a contract and they have an inspection done, it's like, oh, wait a minute, this whole roof needs to be replaced. I can't do that. I don't have $20,000 to shell out. But had they known that in the first place, maybe they wouldn't even have put an offer through. So they don't even get in a contract. And now they don't back out, right? So providing these reports up front prevents negotiating. It adds total comfort to the deal on both sides, and it eliminates or really reduces the buyer backing out because of some physical aspect of the property. Anyway, I hope you find this helpful. Go ahead and use it. I guarantee you're going to be happy, your sellers are going to be happy, everyone's going to be happy, transactions are going to go smoother. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and click the like and the subscribe button. We're going to put out tons more videos here in the near future. Have a great day.